Hello everyone, it's Shyler Durant from NVSFX. I'm going to be showing you guys how to create a sort of unmasking effect in Photoshop. I'll show the picture right now. So what we're going to need to do this is a few different things. We're going to need these two brushes, so some grunge brushes and some abstract smoke brushes for Photoshop. I'll leave the links to the image that I'm using and the two brushes, the two brush packs in the description. So yeah, open your Photoshop, click on File New, make a new, let me just go to this. Make sure your resolution is at 72, background contents are white, width is 2560, oops, 2560 by 1440, and then click OK. And we'll have our canvas. So now let's double click on our background and rename it to background. So BG. And click OK. So now it's unlocked. We're going to then import our image. So I'm using an image of some strawberries. You'll see right here. I'm going to just color correct this a little bit. Changes. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to click Control S and rename it to let's see, let's name it Unmasked Picture Tutorial, or TUT for short. For me, at least, you can name it whatever you want. And then we'll click Save. Make sure it's a Photoshop document that you're saving it as. Alright, so we have our image of strawberries. Simple enough, right? So we're going to make sure we're clicked on our layer and click this button down here, which is that Add Layer Mask button, and it will add a layer mask and select it. Make sure you're selected in it, and then press Control I to invert it. It just basically fills the mask with black so you can't see anything on the canvas. So now what we're going to do is go to our brushes and right click on our canvas, and there will be a little gear icon up here. We're going to click that and go down to load brushes and go to wherever your brushes are. You'll have to extract the zip files, right? Go over to wherever your brushes are and click one and load it, and then go to load brushes again and click the other one and load it. And you'll have your brushes in your list of usable brushes down here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this, let's see, what brush do we want to use? Let's use, let's use this brush, this DD Grunge 1 brush. It's part of the pack that you'll download, so we'll decrease the size a lot, maybe get rid of this. Use your bracket keys. Your right bracket makes your brush bigger and your left bracket makes it smaller. So make your brush pretty big, maybe about that size. And what we're going to do is make sure we're on, our brush is going to paint white so that we don't have any problems with concealing any part we don't want. So what we're going to do, make sure our opacity is at 100 and everything, and then we are going to click a single time. See, it's starting to reveal our image a little bit. So now what we're going to do is move it over a little bit and just keep clicking around just to get a little bit of grunginess revealing. Now we're going to switch to a different type of brush. Let's say this one, the DD Grunge 8. We're going to decrease the size a little bit, and then we'll adjust it when we get out here. So use our left and right bracket keys and start clicking around with this one. Get a whole bunch of variation with our image. Right? Okay. Yeah. Now we're gonna go to a soft brush up here. Go to the top, click the 60, make sure the hardness is down to 0, so it's a soft brush. Increase the size with the right bracket key and kind of just click over these so that we can see the strawberries, and kind of click up here. Get our general showing right. Maybe if you need to, you can switch between black and white using this little arrow thing if your stroke color is set to black. And then we'll go back with a different grunge brush, say this one. Decrease the size way down. And click over in areas so that we have a little bit of grunginess to the picture still. Right. This is all depending on what you want to accomplish. Back to our soft brush. Make the size bigger. Whoops. Control Z. Switch back to white. Make sure we're still clicked in this mask. And kind of reveal little sections that we want. Don't uncover everything, but uncover some things. So something like this. I mainly want to get rid of the edge around here, so I'm going to go paint in here just so I can get the edge of the picture. And then what I'm going to do is switch to black and fade it in so we get rid of that edge. Maybe decrease the opacity to like 30 or 40%. Come in here and fade it in a little bit so that it kind of feathers the entire picture. Right. Now I'm going to go back to 100%. Get rid of this edge. But leave that feathering that I've done. Just come in here, maybe a little bit. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Alright, I'm going to move the image a little bit. So I'm going to hold my shift key, click the left arrow button a couple times. It's looking kind of square to me, so I'm going to do a little bit more feathering in with my brush. Make sure we're clicked on the mask. Just make it uneven so that it's not a perfect square either. I kind of like that leaf sitting there, so I'm going to do this instead. Decrease the opacity again. Something like 25-ish, 22. Fade in. Just kind of click around and stuff like that. Alright, so now we've taken our image from our whole picture to just this. Now what we're going to do is we are going to let's see. We're going to take our smoke brushes. Let's take maybe this one right here. This Abstract Smoke 38. And make sure we're selected in our mask. Decrease the brush size and kind of add a couple, just make sure the opacity is up, and we are on white because we want to uncover. Just click a single time up here. Maybe we'll right click, or not right click, go up into our brush properties and we'll tick on shape dynamics. Maybe the size jitter, turn up to 10%. Click on scattering and turn the scatter amount up a little bit. Right. And we'll see what that does. So make your brush pretty small to start out with and click on the edge and just keep clicking around. Maybe you can switch to a different smoke brush, such as this one, which would be Abstract Smoke 35. And we're going to make sure the brush is small with our bracket keys, and then click around the edge so we get some of this smoke effect around. Maybe rotate it a little bit so we get some different variety. Now I just need to take a soft brush again, make sure the hardness is down to 0, and come up here. Let's maybe bring the opacity down to 50% or so. And oops, let's see that. Switch to our black. Kind of blend this all in so we don't see the corners of our image like that. Right, very cool. Alright, one final thing I want to do is we're gonna put this inside a shape as well. So let's click out of our mask, make a new layer, grab our polygon tool. Oh, you know what? Let's go polygon. Let's go with a 5-sided thing. See what that looks like. Check on star if you have CS6, of course. Everything's fine. And we'll make sure the star's bigger, so Control T and click on the edge and hold Shift as well so you can scale it up nicely. Scale it up to maybe a little bit bigger. Right? Oh, it's probably going to be smaller actually. You know what? Maybe we don't want to use a star, so we'll get rid of the star. And we'll use a couple rectangles maybe. So draw out one rectangle, draw out another one that's maybe a different size, third one, maybe another one that's a different size. Select our rectangle, the big one, bring it in the middle, maybe make it a little smaller, then select another one, kind of build a cool looking set here. So now we'll take all of our rectangles, apply the changes, select all of our rectangles, Control G to group them, and then Control J to duplicate the group. We'll drag up, make sure that second group's selected. drag them up and rotate them around. Something like that. Actually, if you hold shift while you're rotating, it'll just click to the right 180 degrees that I want. And then maybe we'll move these over like so. Cool. Now select both groups and kind of rotate it a little bit. Maybe we'll hold shift while we're scaling up. Position it over here. Make them wider. Alright. Drag this layer to the top. I mean, maybe. There you go. Now right click, convert to clipping mask. Make sure both groups are in one of the groups things, and then kind of maneuver your thing around so that you get a cool looking image there. Maybe stretch these out. Something like that. Now, this looks pretty cool on its own, but let's add some stuff around it. So let's first rename this group to rectangles. Call that good. Now we're going to take the rectangle tool again, draw over, put this underneath the rectangles, make this color gray, sort of like that. So C1, C1, C1. That looks pretty good. Right. Actually, we'll rename this rectangle to background, actually, and get rid of our first background. So now we have a color on our background. And let's go make a new layer and go to filter, render. Let's do clouds. Right? Okay. Now we're going to toggle through our blending modes until we find something that looks pretty good. Maybe we could even put it above the rectangle, or above the whole thing. No. Let's duplicate our background. Control J. And call this. Nope, not open the layer properties. Let's call this the cloud color. And take off our clouds for a second. Maybe we'll try, first off, we'll change it to a color that we want them to be. Maybe like a yellowish, something like that. And then tick them back on. Make a normal. Down. Alright, so now we're going to click on this. We're going to, on this layer, so we'll rename this layer to clouds. Sorry, this is my first tutorial, so I'm kind of not talking about everything I'm doing. So what we're going to do is take our clouds, select our clouds layer, go to image adjustments, hue and saturation, click on colorize, and that'll colorize our image to be whatever color we want. Let's go with a kind of bright yellow-ish. There we go, something like that. And change our cloud color background to a let's go with a 90% gray. Alright, that looks kind of cool. Duplicate our cloud color layer. Call this, rename it to just color, I guess. We're going to take our brush tool again, make sure we're on a soft brush. Bring the hardness down to 0. Make sure our opacity is at 100%. Actually, no, we can keep it at 50. Makes sense. What we're going to do is grab any color we want with our brush. So make sure we're selected on this. Yeah, we gotta rasterize the layer. Forgot to tell you about that. So right click and rasterize the layer first before you do this. And then increase your brush size. Click on a color. Let's go with a nice purple or so, neon purple. Increase it and click a couple times. There, maybe here, maybe there. A little bit more there. And now grab another color. So we'll go to maybe a green like that. Click in the center a few times. And we'll grab another color. Maybe a red of some sorts, like that. Click a single time down here, maybe here, over here. Alright. Change this to overlay, or no, to something that looks good. That looks pretty good. Divide. And now if you check off your clouds layer, you'll see all this color right here. Click on the clouds again. It kind of adds to our effect. Maybe add some more. Whoops. Add some more green or something. Over here. Way up there. Bring our opacity down a little more. Change the colors, just it's all different, so whatever you click on is going to be made into something different. Something like that. That looks good. Alright, and for our final thing, we're going to make a new layer. Bring this layer down above, actually over everything. That makes sense. What we're going to do is take our brush tool. Make sure we're on a 0 hardness. Reduce the size a little bit. The opacity is set really low. Let's make it like 8%. Make sure we're painting with black. Kind of make a shape around here. Around like this, so we can get some sort of an ellipse going, or a vignette, I mean. Now increase the opacity to like 30%. Go around a little further back. Increase it up a little bit more. Go further back. Whoops. Make sure you're clicked on the layer. That'd be great. Alright, now increase all the way and just touch on the ends. Kind of like so. You come in at a lower opacity, such as like 20%. Kind of brush in there. Like so. Want to kind of blend in everything. That looks pretty good. One thing I might do is take our rectangle layer, double click on the layer to open the layer styles. We might go with a bevel and emboss maybe. Let's go with outer glow. Check on outer glow and click on the layer style. Change the blending mode to overlay. Make the technique softer. Change the spread to maybe something like 50, and the size to something like 25. And then the contour, we're going to go to, which was it? Yeah, this one, which is Sawtooth 1. You could really use whatever one you want. Looks kind of cool. In fact, that one looks pretty cool too. Cove. You know what? Maybe we'll go with that one. And reduce the opacity to like 75, I think. And then what we're gonna do is go to bevel and emboss. Change it to the style to emboss, and we'll change it to smooth maybe. Yeah, smooth. Put the depth up at let's go at 260. Yeah, that looks pretty good. No, 250. Down to 250. The size will make 10. Soften will make like 2 pixels. Maybe 3. Let's just crank it up to 5. Maybe put the size up to 15 then. The contour, will change it to Sawtooth. Nope. To kind of click around and see which one works best for you. I think I'm going to go with this one. The rounded steps. Turn anti-aliasing on. Let's see. Let's change the highlight color from a white to something that will match our background a little bit. So go to the greens maybe and make it a light green. Or something that will match closer. Something like this. Desaturated green. And change it to to lighten. Maybe make the color a little bit darker. Like so. There we go. Now I've kind of got the green going on the entire, all of the rectangles, which looks pretty cool. The shadow mode's fine. If you wanted to, you could change it from multiply to overlay, and it looks a little different. What we're gonna do is keep it multiply. But what we're gonna do is reduce the opacity to about 50%. And then that will do that. Click OK on the layer styles. And this is what we have. So you can go in to your picture and still move it around, right? If you don't like how it looks right now. But I think that looks pretty cool. So we're going to call that good. There's a little bit of a vignette. You can add more on to it with your brushes. Make sure you clicked on the layer. Let's actually rename this layer to vignette. Vignette. Make sure you clicked on it. we'll make sure we have a dark spot in the corner because that's where all the vignettes come from. A dark spot in the corner. You don't have to make such a harsh vignette, but I kind of want to. Gonna kind of go around, mess with it a little more. So thanks. Maybe I won't go as harsh with that. Just the very edge. So we have something. Then decrease the opacity more. Just like I'm saying, there's more than one way you can do this stuff. Let's go back a couple steps. Fix this. So just kind of all blend it in together. Something like that looks pretty good, I think. So that's it for this tutorial. It's kind of just first attempt at a tutorial. This is just making a picture go inside of some shapes, basic shapes, and then masking that with some brushes. So we have the smoke in here that's also helping to give it effect, and it's not just a regular picture. But yeah, and we have some clouds here to help give dimension to the photograph, and then we have the color, which helps. But anyways, if you like this, guys, make sure you follow me on Twitter at EnviousFX, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Many more things to come, and follow us on Facebook as well at EnviousFX. There's a lot of things we post to that. We are trying to post every week so that we have something new for everyone. But yeah, stay tuned for more of our videos. Can't guarantee they'll come out very often, but just stay tuned for more of our videos, and we'll see you guys in the next one.